Baseball won its first series in 4 weekends against the team atop the Big Ten. Maryland football capped off its spring training session and a stunner at the Plex as women's lacrosse fell to Rutgers in the Big Ten quarterfinals. All that and more coming up on this edition of The Left Bench.
We stayed positive, like our dugout stayed positive, on defense they stayed positive.
I just would like us to be able to finish on the opportunities that we work so hard to create.
Welcome back to The Left Bench, brought to you by Terrapin Sports Central. I'm Alexa Wootten, that's Matthew Neus, and Matt, Maryland women's lacrosse was stunned in the first round of the Big Ten tournament.
Yeah, Alexa, the Terps had a shot to make the Big Ten semifinals this weekend in Evanston, but failed to do so. Maryland earned the 3 seed in the Big Ten tourney and was slated against 6-seeded Rutgers for a battle in College Park. Starting in the first quarter, Rutgers goalie Sophia Cardello makes 6 saves, while Maryland commits 2 turnovers and produces its lowest scoring output in the first quarter all season of just 1 goal. The Scarlet Knights keep the pressure coming. Cassidy Spillis with an early hat trick puts Rutgers up 4-1, but don't count out Kathy Reese and company. Hannah Lubecker, Libby May, and Chrissy Thomas lead a 6-2 scoring run, and Maryland grabs its first lead in the fourth. The momentum seems to be there for Maryland, but Rutgers puts out the fire, netting 3 goals in the final 10 minutes, escaping with its first ever win in College Park. Cardello makes a season-high 15 saves, and the Terps shoot a season-worst 26%. Here's head coach Kathy Reese with more after the early postseason loss.
Rutgers came through and made plays at the end when it, when it mattered, and their goalie made stops. We had some great looks on goal. We had some great offense. There's some great opportunities, and we just didn't finish. So credit to their team and their goalies for making plays as they went through. Again, she had a phenomenal game, and I just would like us to be able to finish on the opportunities that we work so hard to create.
While Saturday did not go as planned for the Terps, one thing is for certain. Kathy Reese has created a winning culture at Maryland. The famous saying is, if you surround yourself with good people, good things will happen. And that is true for Reese. 2 of her assistant coaches are not only alumni of the school, but Reese's former players.
I think their love for the University of Maryland, their love for Maryland lacrosse, their love for this sport just shines through in what they do every day.
Caitlin Phipps was the 2010 National Lacrosse Player of the Year and guided Maryland to its first national championship since 2001. Nadine Hadnaghi was a 2017 National Player of the Year finalist and 3-time national champion for the Terps. They're both now assistant coaches.
When Kathy calls, it was just a dream come true. It was a no-brainer to come back to Maryland.
Their ability to lead and teach and coach and mentor all of these awesome players that we have is just second to none.
Playing the game gives coaches insight, helps them put themselves in their athletes' shoes. But for Phipps and Hadnaghi, they've not only been in their shoes, they've had the same experience, playing for the same school, on the same field, and for the same coach.
Kathy came in my freshman year as her first year as the head coach and just created this culture of excellence on and off the field.
Something they try to mirror in their coaching.
Kathy was always someone that's so positive, and I just try to bring that back to our players now.
Along with their own style.
I kind of get to be the middleman a little bit and bring it all together and just really be more of a friend to them rather than necessarily a full-on coach all the time, which has been super helpful for them.
The two called their time playing for Reese the best 4 years. That's something they want to give the athletes now.
Just helping the next generation of Terps is really what I absolutely love to do.
Thanks, Alexa. And I know I love that package because you dimmed it down to just the Maryland scale. But if you look at the national landscape, it's just every program seems to have a Maryland alum or player, on that coaching staff.
I mean, you have to tip your hat off to Kathy Reese. She's made the sport so competitive because, like you said, all those coaching staffs are her former players. Now, even though the Terps were eliminated from the Big Ten tournament, they did finish the regular season with a 12-4 record and one of the toughest schedules nationally, meaning they have a very likely chance of still making the NCAA tournament.
Although it's April, football is still on the mind, and Maryland football just wrapped up its spring training with the annual red versus white spring game. The eyes are on the quarterback position with the departure of Talia Tungavaloa. TSC's Andrew McBride was at CQ Stadium with a look at the new QB battle and the breakdown of the offensive side of the ball.
Maryland football's tight quarterback competition took its next steps on Saturday as the Terrapins competed in their annual red versus white spring game. All 4 quarterbacks made their case in the field, but none had as memorable of a day as Nolan Ray, who finished the game with 119 all-purpose yards. Coach Mike Loxley will now look to turn the team he saw on the field today into a finished product by the start of the season. Maryland lost a bunch of key players coming into the season, but none bigger than the departure of Talia Tagovailoa, which opened up a quarterback competition. MJ Morris, who transferred from NC State, shined the brightest. He threw for 65 yards on 8 attempts and showed off his rushing skills with 20 yards. And the good news is, Morris still has more time to get acclimated to Loxley's offense.
I feel like there's a difference between knowing an offense and understanding the offense. I feel like right now I know the offense, but this whole summer I know I'm going to be in here. I've been in here early mornings, late nights trying to know it. So when I'm out there, I don't have to, there's no thinking involved. I'm out there, I know where I'm going with the ball. I'm knowing the best read, the best option to take to score points.
Cam Edge was the leading passer for the red team with 151 yards on 11 completions, but he and Champ Long both threw pick sixes. Meanwhile, Billy Edwards, the Music City Bowl MVP, threw for 36 yards on 6 completions. Despite Morris playing the best out of the 4 quarterbacks, Loxley's mind has not changed.
We're a long ways away from naming a starter. As you can see, the competition is, it's hard to tell. They're all talented. They all made some plays. They all made some mistakes.
Another star of the day was running back Nolan Ray, who ran for 96 yards, including a 49-yard scamper, and added 23 yards through the air. Ray was kept off the field last year because of health problems, but his skill set adds another weapon to the Terps offense that fans should be excited about.
You guys finally got a glimpse of what we have seen from the day he's got here. He's a big play threat. He's got great vision, balance, body control.
Loxley certainly has a lot of decisions to make, but there is talent at every corner of the roster that can win him games. Maryland's first test, UConn on August 31st in the Terps season opener. For Terrapin Sports Central, I'm Andrew McBride.
The eyes are on the offense, but Coach Loxley and his staff have built a prominent defensive unit over the offseason. TSC's Ben Wolf has more on the defense.
To wrap up spring camp, Maryland football held its annual red vs. white spring game, which gave fans a sneak peek of what's in store for next season. Despite the red team surrendering 34 unanswered points, players on both sides had solid performances. Jordan Phillips was a bully out there, steamrolling his way through the offensive line to lead the red team in tackles alongside half a sack.
I got some things I need to work on. I did some good things today, but, I also know reality. And reality is I got things I need to work on. And, I'll see that shortly, when I get up there in the film room.
Despite losing key defensive pieces to the NFL draft like Tarheeb Still, the Maryland secondary made some noise today with not 1, but 2 pick sixes. Kiari James had the first one, but Jonathan Ankins put on the finishing touches with a walk-off 90-yard pick six in the fourth quarter.
I see a defensive side of the ball that has created a lot of depth. You look at what we did on defense a year ago, we took some steps forward, and I see us now, when you look at the 2 different defenses today, they both kind of played about the same. And
outside of the interceptions, the secondary took away the long ball for all 4 quarterbacks, with only Cam Edge connecting on one 36-yard pass. Phillips and the red team just couldn't stop the white team's offense, with Roman Hemby scoring on a 3-yard run and Dylan Wade making a circus catch for a 13-yard touchdown from MJ Morris to bring home the 34-3 victory for the white team. The Terps will now get set to kick off the regular season on Saturday, August 31st at CQ Stadium. For Terrapin Sports Central, I'm Ben Wolf.
Thanks, Ben and Andrew. And Alexa, it's going to be interesting to see, new conference, new Big Ten, a couple new faces on that defense side of the ball. How are they going to fare against the new teams in the new Big Ten?
Yes, and while obviously a lot of the defensive unit was drafted this past weekend, you also have to note that Coach Loxley coached that defensive unit. So who's to say he can't coach the new guys to be just as good or maybe even better?
I guess only time will tell.
Well, it was a huge weekend for Maryland football on campus with the spring game, but it was also a huge weekend for some Terps headed to the NFL.
Drew Owens joins us in Studio B to recap what happened in this past weekend's NFL draft and which Terps went pro. Drew?
Guys, After the season wrapped, multiple Maryland football players announced their decision to take the next step and go pro, and a few heard their names called. The Terps had 4 participants in the NFL Combine and 15 in Pro Day here in College Park, but only 2 got the big call. Let's talk about the first name that was called from Maryland, Delmar Glaze. The offensive tackle was selected in the 3rd round with the 77th overall pick drafted by the Las Vegas Raiders. The redshirt junior started every game at left tackle this past season. Pro Football Focus rated him the 2nd rated pass blocking tackle in the Big Ten with an 83.1 grade. He was also the 4th rated tackle overall with over 750 snaps. Glaze was named to the 3rd team All Big Ten. Day 3 is when the next Terp got picked up, and this time it was someone who made a huge defensive impact this past season, Tarheeb Still. Still was selected in the 5th round with the 137th pick by the Los Angeles Chargers. He was a key player for the Terps this past season, totaling 31 solo tackles, 45 total tackles, and 5 interceptions. He was also named to the 2nd team All Big Ten. He leaves Maryland with 124 solo tackles, 6 interceptions, and 165 total tackles. Still becomes the 6th defensive back to be drafted in 6 years for Maryland. Now, after the draft, the Terps had 13 players that became undrafted free agents, and as of right now, 6 of them have been picked up. As we can see right here, Gottlieb Ayazday, Jaquan Shepard, Jay-Sean Jones, Bo Bray, Trey Colbert, and Corey Bullock have all been signed to teams as undrafted free agents. Ayazday is going to the Eagles as he heads up north. You have Jaquan Shepard here. He's heading up with Delmar Glaze. He's heading out west to join the Las Vegas Raiders. Jay-Sean Jones joins the Minnesota Vikings wide receiver room. And we have 3 Terps that are staying in Maryland because they have all been picked up by the Baltimore Ravens, which have been Bo Braid, Corey Bullock, and Trey Colbert. Now, Braid comes as the biggest undrafted surprise as he was mocked anywhere from the 2nd to 6th rounds. Now, there are still 7 Terps that have been undrafted free agents that have yet to be picked up, and the biggest name on that list is quarterback Talia Tungavailoa. Now, Tungavailoa, though, was invited to participate in the Seattle Seahawks rookie minicamp next weekend. And guys, preseason training camp and OTAs come up in the next few months. There is still a lot of time for these guys to prove themselves and make a mark, especially those that went undrafted. But nevertheless, still a few Terps going pro. Back to you.
Yeah, thanks, Drew. And I mean, Alex, it was so great this weekend to see all those guys, find their next homes, start at Maryland, come and find their next homes. And, another guy that Drew didn't mention, Colton Spangler, we talked about him a couple weeks ago with that blazing 40-yard dash. I saw a couple days ago he was invited to the Ravens rookie mini camp. So, like I said 2 weeks ago, punters are people too. So congrats to Colton on that achievement.
And congratulations to all the Terps drafted this past weekend. Now, don't go anywhere because when we come back, we'll head to the Diamond to recap the closing games of Maryland baseball and softball series.
And even though it might be the offseason, Brenda Fries has been busy adding new additions to next season's roster. Stay with us.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
There's so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
It took 20 years, and I got my 3rd child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
Welcome back to the Left Bench, brought to you by Terrapin Sports Central. Matthew Neus alongside Alexa Wootten. And Alexa, what about the Dirty Terps saving their season this weekend?
Yeah, Matt. I mean, Maryland needed a series win, and they got it. Maryland baseball has had a hard month in Big Ten play, but on Sunday, the Terps stole the rubber match from Illinois to secure their first conference series win in over a month. The Maryland Bats come alive through the first 3 innings with a solo homer from Sam Honar, jumping out to a 7-1 lead. But the Fighting Illini won't go away. In the 4th, Vitas Valencias hits a solo shot, and in the 5th, Connor Milton hits a solo shot of his own. Maryland gets in some trouble late, able to escape, but not for long as Valencias makes Maryland pay, smoking a ball into the right center field gap for a base-clearing double, making the score 8-7 Terps. But in the bottom half of the frame, Sam Honar hits the baseball oh so far, launching a game-stealing 3-run homer way over the batter's eye in center to give Maryland the 11-7 victory. Here's head coach Matt Swope with more.
Yeah, it's a good series win. I mean, I thought we just competed the whole weekend. Obviously, there was multiple times yesterday and today where we kind of scored and then they punched back, and we scored again, they punched back again. But like I've given them credit for all season, they kept fighting and they stayed positive and ended up pushing a couple huge runs there in the end. And that's a big series win for the guys, and hopefully it propels us moving forward into the rest of the season.
Sunday was the end of Maryland's softball series against Purdue, and also the end of Courtney Weich's starts in College Park. The Terps' ace starts in her last home game and is excellent through the first 5 innings, allowing no runs. She racks up 7 strikeouts, adding onto her Maryland single-season strikeouts record. But the Boilermakers rally. They tag Weich for 4 runs in the 6th inning, Purdue adding a towering 3-run home run off of Kira Booker in the 7th inning, giving them plenty of insurance runs. With Maryland's offense continuing to struggle, 7 runs is more than enough for Purdue. The Boilermakers take this one 7-1 and the series 2-1.
Really just have the top half of our lineup producing for us, and so when the bottom half can't turn anything over or get themselves on base, it's leaving the top half to have to hit home runs in order to score runs, and we don't really want to hit in that space. We try to do too much when we're doing that.
Basketball season may still be many months away, but in the transfer portal, the offseason is as important as the regular season.
TSC's Ryan Martin joins us now from Studio B to introduce some of the new and impactful women's basketball transfers. Ryan?
Yeah, Matt, every collegiate basketball team retools their roster annually in the spring. But this season, it looks like Brenda Fries is going for a complete remodel. Maryland women's basketball had a disappointing 2023 season, posting a 500 or worse conference record for the first time since the 2009-2010 campaign. But now in the offseason, the Terps have been active in the portal, bringing in 6 transfers to contribute alongside 3 incoming freshmen. So who are these new veteran faces? First, let's check out the backcourt trio Fries brought in. Former VCU guard Sarah Tabiasso alongside Rutgers guard Kayleen Smeichel and Arkansas's Sailor Poffenbarger. Fries mentioned in January that last year's team didn't have a true point guard, so she went out and got the Atlantic 10's best to be her primary ball handler next season. The 5'5" Sarah Tabiasu earned A10 Player of the Year honors after leading the Rams with right around 16 points, 3 assists, and 2 steals per game. Tabiasu is a career 37% three-point shooter across more than 100 starts. That's huge experience for the graduate card going into next season. Next up is Rutgers shooting guard Kayleen Smeichel. Coming off of an all-Big Ten freshman and second-team selection season, averaging 16 points, 5 rebounds, and almost 2 steals a game, Smeichel will be a special addition. An undisclosed injury sidelined Smeichel for all games this calendar year, but if the 6-foot incoming sophomore is healthy come November, expect an immediate impact from the in-conference transfer. Rounding out the backcourt additions is former Arkansas wing Sailor Poffenbarger. Poffenbarger was named the 2020 Miss Maryland basketball after excelling at Middletown High School. Poffenbarger spent a year at UConn before finding a home in Fayetteville for the last 3 seasons, and as you just saw, rebounding was the name of Poffenbarger's game last season. The 6'2" guard averaged 11.2 rebounds per game as a redshirt sophomore, breaking Arkansas's single-season defensive rebound records with the second most defensive rebounds by any player last year nationally. And while the three guards should all have an immediate impact at Maryland, maybe nowhere will issues of player depth be better addressed than in the front court, where the freshman commits and UConn's Amari DeBerry are set to give Freeze way more versatility. Let's dive into the Terps' most recent transfer, who could be the biggest unknown piece entering the season for Maryland. 6-foot forward Amari DeBerry joins the team, having averaged under 4.5 minutes per game last season at UConn. The former top 15 recruit and McDonald's All-American couldn't get things going up in stores, but now gives Freeze an interesting asset to use in the front court. DeBerry's commitment to Maryland becomes even more important for Freeze after recent news that Rhode Island forward May Torre will not be transferring to the Terps as previously expected. Instead, Torre signed with Utah just yesterday. And guys, like DeBerry, Freeze won't truly know what she has with this entire group of transfers until we get into the fall months. But these five, playing with incoming JUCO transfer Izzy Menme Ozzy Mamadou, will hope that, like that pronunciation, it clicks on the first try. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Brian. And Matt, I think people continue to doubt Brenda Freeze, and I think once again she proves them wrong. She's brought in a slew of players that will make an impact on the roster next season, without a doubt.
Yeah, I would never go against Brenda Freeze, coaching-wise. And I mean, when you see her social media presence now this season, all the videos she's posting when she lands a commitment or a transfer, I mean, why would you not want to play for Brenda Freeze?
What's your favorite video?
That's a tough one. I may have to go with one of the first ones she posted was when she's coming out at like a concert on stage and she's just dancing. But I mean, it's still great to see her, take social media and use it as an effective tool in the transfer portal.
Definitely. And when we come back, Matt and I will play a left bench favorite. Any guesses?
And we'll name our Terp of the Week, Pro Terp, and top 5 plays. Stay with us.
I tell my son, I love you every single day. I love you. Now, my dad has never said that to me. Not because he doesn't love me, but because culturally it wasn't comfortable for him. Now that he's a grandfather, he says, I love you to my son every time he sees him. My advice to all the fathers out there, forget the cultural restrictions. They grow up way too fast for you to waste even a single precious moment.
I think I finally found.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Mason.
Hey, Mason.
Got a new house. It's looking pretty cool so far. A place that I call home.
I'm teaching Louise how to cook some lasagna.
It only takes a spark to make a fire start.
Thank you.
Study, please.
I think I finally found a place to make my own. A place that I call home. This place that I call home.
Welcome back to the Left Bench, brought to you by Terrapin Sports Central, Matthew Neus, Alexa Wootten, and we've moved over to Studio B to play my favorite, Guess Who?
Now, so we get it started at?
I guess. So they're going to blow up a picture on this screen, and it's our job to guess. So let's see who comes out on top. I know you won one game this semester, I won one, so this is it's kind of a big deal.
Tiebreaker, see who comes out victorious.
I think I'm going to, but let's see the first picture here.
Really zoomed in.
It really is. I think
that's
a goal.
This is a lacrosse goal post, I think,
so
and a goal.
It's got to be a goalie, but do you think it's men's or women's? I'm trying to see.
Does that look like padding? Like because the men wear padding, the girls don't.
You're right. I mean, it could be padding. Do you want to go? What do you think? Do you think it's Logan or do you think it's Emily? I'll let you guess here first.
I think I'm gonna say it's hard to tell. I think wait, the girls, they're goalies. They do wear padding.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know what you're talking about, but
I'm gonna go.
You guess. It's up to you.
I'll go Emily. I'll
You
give
go
it to
Emily?
the women's team.
All right, so I'll go Logan. So I'll go with the men's team. Let's zoom it out, see who we got here. All right,
there we go.
So maybe I should have guessed first because I would have guessed Emily, but it's okay. I'll let you have that one. So let's go on to number 2. I hope they're that easy for the next one. Come on.
Oh, this one's.
I don't know who zoomed these in, but whoever did, can you like zoom
a
out
little-
just a little bit more?
think.
But so I see it's got to be a jersey up there, right?
I don't really know what I'm looking at.
I feel like that's a jersey and a
Like
number.
that's the number up there in the corner.
Yeah, but what number do you think it is? Do you think it's, who wears yellow? That's yellow,
Oh, it's
right?
football. No, it's red, white. So, or the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Don't they wear yellow?
They do, but do they have red on? I thought they were just black.
We gotta guess. We're running out of time.
We have to. I feel like that's a 1 up there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Jacob Orr just because he wears number 1 for baseball, but I'm not confident in that. I'm not 100% sure in that. You gotta guess. Come on. You want to piggyback?
I'll piggyback.
You want to? Okay. So we're gonna piggyback Jacob Orr. I feel like we're way off.
I think so too.
And-
I don't know what we're looking.
Oh, it's MJ Moore. Okay.
So I was right. It was football.
It was football, and I was wrong. And yeah, Neus transfer. So we're gonna go into number 3. You're still leading 1-0.
Yeah, 1.5. Because I got football.
I'm not gonna give you that.
Okay.
Again, guys. I mean, what are we
Wait,
doing
no.
here?
Is that two? That's 2 zeros, right?
Is it? What do you think? I think it could be a 2-0.
This seems like grass, turf.
That looks black to me, though.
No, like there's a little green in it.
Okay, maybe.
Or I'm colorblind. Either way.
Hey, I mean, we didn't get MJ Morris, so I mean, we could be colorblind. So
I think that no, because they're too close. I think.
I'm gonna give this one to you. I mean, I was way off with Jacob Orr, so I feel like
Give
this
this
is
to
up
me.
to you. I mean, do we think that's a 2-0? Or do we think that's like just a big? It's not a big 0 because it's.
Could be an 8.
It could be an 8. It could be an 8. So, what sport do we think it is?
Maybe. Like are those gloves? Like maybe men's lacrosse.
Maybe. Could it be like a face-off, like Luke Weirman, like he's in his.
If it's an 8, I think it's Eric Kolar.
You think it's Eric Kolar? You want to go with that?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, I'll go with that.
Yeah,
I don't have another guess.
I don't know. Should I go with a face-off? You think that's a glove?
Yeah, do a difference. We see who wins.
Luke Weirman?
Okay.
All right.
See it.
All right, let's see.
Oh, it was the 20 because do you
So
see?
it was a 20, and
Yeah.
we really were not good at this. But
senior day, home run.
You're right. We should have put 2 and 2 together.
We should have given
I mean,
it to
that's
her.
on us.
But who won? Me.
You did. But I mean, I feel like we kind of split that because I let you go first on that first one because I was gonna guess Emily.
You know, it's okay.
But you know,
it's okay to lose. It's okay to lose.
I'm a very sore loser, but I'll give it to you. Congrats, Alexa.
Thank
so
you.
We won 2-1 this semester, but next semester I'm winning all 3.
All right, we'll see. You got to bring your game.
We will. Yeah.
Well, now it is time to name our Terp of the week, and this Terp made her senior day count, which is why we had to go with Maryland softball, Michaela Jones, who you just saw on the screen. The infielder walked it off for Maryland in the 10th inning with a 2-run homer to give Maryland the 4-5 win. That was her second home run of the day. Her first came in the second to put the Terps on the board. Jones went 3 for 4, finishing with 3 RBIs and 2 runs scored. Congrats to Michaela on being crowned our Terp of the week.
This week's Pro Terp goes out to a former standout at Ludwig Field that is now making a name for himself in Columbus. It's Jason Russell Rowe. Russell Rowe has settled with the Columbus Crew in the MLS after a 2-year career for Maryland men's soccer. He recently provided an assist and scored the game-winning goal in Columbus Crew's 2-1 victory over Monterrey in the first leg of the CONCACAF Champions Cup semifinal. Russell Rowe has also appeared in 8 games during the MLS campaign, bagging 2 goals. Congrats to Jason on being named this week's Pro Terp.
All right, Matt, I think it's time for top 5 plays. Let's get started.
All right, let's get it started. At number 5, we're going to the Plex. Victoria Hench from Chrissy Thomas. 1 motion, catch, shoot, score for Hench.
Number 4 is going to be Eddie Hakopian's over-the-shoulder catch running down the first baseline. He grabs the catch in the out. Let's see that one more time. Running, running, running. Maybe not going to get it. Nope, over-the-shoulder catch, and he got the out.
At number 3, we're going to stick with the really good catch. It's Maisie McFarland in right field. What a diving catch to keep Maryland in it. Just an absolute web gem out and right to keep the Terps alive.
And at number 2, it's going to be Jonathan Aikens. Pick 6, picks it off, and he runs the length of the field for the touchdown. Let's see that one more time. Cam Edge with the pass. They bobble it, and there is Aikens for the pick six.
And at number 1, we've seen her a lot this block. It's Michaela Jones' senior day walk-off home run. What a way to end her career at Maryland with a walk-off blast to center field.
And I mean, Matt, we've talked about it a lot. We've seen the play a lot, but what a way to end your college career, senior day nonetheless.
I mean, that's what dreams are made of. You know, senior day, get in the box, chance to win it with your bat, and you hit it over the fence. I mean, what a way to go out of College Park.
100%. And that'll do it for this edition of The Left Bench, as well as Matt and I's last time up at the desk together this school year. This Thursday, Andrew McBride and Ben Wolf will be back to break down Maryland men's lacrosse regular season. And next Tuesday will be our last show of the school year.
Be sure to keep up with all of Terrapin Sports Central's coverage on X, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and online at terrapinsportscentral.com.
We'll see you soon.